Hey team, this is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Today's topic is going to be over long runs for half marathon training. And I'm getting a lot of questions from a lot of athletes from around the world that often ask me, what is the purpose of running faster long runs for their chosen event? And I think that running slow long runs every single weekend is still going to make you very efficient and very strong endurance-wise to run your race efficiently. But like I said in the past, racing a specific event over a specific amount of time at race pace is an art form, and it is not easy. I had to learn the hard way too regarding long runs, because back when I was training for the marathon, I was a 2:43 marathoner, but I had the goal of running under 2 hours and 22 minutes. So as all of you know, to drop that amount of time takes an immense amount of hard work and an adjustment in how we set up our training. So, most times we think of long runs as conducting them nice, easy, just nice, long, slow running every single weekend. And focusing more on doing the track workouts or the fartlek road workouts, or maybe doing hill repetitions where you're really focusing on very high anaerobic efforts for a specific amount of time. But to run faster, regardless if you're training for the mile, the 5K, the 10K, or the marathon distance, if you start speeding up your miles and your kilometers during that long run, you're going to start burning fat at race pace, and you're going to start conserving what you have much less of, and that's carbohydrates. This is why a lot of athletes around the world they hit the so-called wall, and I've experienced it myself, right around mile 17 or mile 18 of a marathon. And a big reason for that is because at any given time, we only have about 17 to 1800 calories of carbohydrate storage at any given time in our body. But we have a ton of fat storage. So the key thing is to keep in mind when you're training for your event is to utilize what you have far more of, and that is fat stores. So, and conserve what you have much less of, which is carbohydrate. So you want to be able to call upon those carbs at the latter stages of a race, whether you're doing a 5K on the roads or you're training for the marathon, and you really want to pick up the pace in that last 10 kilometers, the last 5 kilometers of the race, when your competition is more than likely slowing down, or the athletes up at the front are still holding that pace. So this is why a lot of athletes, whether they're training for the mile or the marathon distance, they make it look easy for a reason. They have trained sufficiently at paces that are far, far faster than their goal race pace. And a big reason why you see a lot of these top marathoners just clipping each mile, just flying, each mile, each kilometer during the races, and making it look so smooth, is because they have done those harder long runs. And what I teach with the running courses and the training plans on Run Dream Achieve, and as well as the new membership, the private membership site that I have now on the site, is we're going to be discussing heavily on quality over quantity. Okay, you should not be focused on just running long, slow, easy long runs every single weekend, because it's going to make you very efficient at running long, slow, and easy. This, again, if you're trying to run a specific time for your chosen event and to get across the finish line in record time, you're going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. It's much easier said than done. It's very easy to say that over a video, but it's much more difficult when you have to live it and you have to go out and you have to put in the work yourself. The good thing is, as your coach and as a mentor to you, I've been where you're at. I know what it takes. I know how difficult it is to get out there and to do a long 25 to 30K long run or longer by yourself in piss poor conditions, maybe hot conditions. I mean, I've done everything just like you. Hot conditions, windy, raining, you name it. But I do believe that running a portion of that long run at a faster pace and a faster effort. So running that long run at a faster clip for a longer period of time is going to start teaching your body to burn fat at race pace, so that once you're in the race, you've done a combination of training at VO2 max effort, like we talk about in other videos, where we focus really on that hardcore speed that you need to develop. Regardless if you're a middle distance runner or a long distance runner, we can always work on our speed. But you want to train at paces that far exceed what you're trying to run at for the half marathon. You know, when I was training I had a goal of breaking an hour and 10 minutes for the half marathon years ago when I was training heavily, and I got it down to an hour and 7 minutes and 6 seconds. And the reason why I was able to hold 5:07 per mile for 13.1 miles was because I had spent so much time running well below 5-minute mile pace, training closer to 440 to 445 mile pace for mile repeats. And then as far as my long runs, I started instead of just doing long, slow, easy long runs at like 6:30 mile pace to 7-minute mile pace, I started varying up the paces of my long runs. And when I started working with Lisa Rainsberg, Lisa won the 1985 Boston Marathon, and one of the things that she taught me was you need to spend longer periods of time during your long run at a higher percentage of your maximum heart rate. So for me, at my fittest, I would do my long runs in Colorado Springs at around 6,000 feet, and I would do it at 160 beats per minute. So when I ran my fastest marathon of 2:19:35, I was 31 years old, and when I was doing those long runs, running at 160 beats per minute, wearing my heart rate monitor, I was hitting anywhere from 520s to 550s per mile at that elevation. And so what we did was doing, you know, like I talk about in the training courses and the programs, you want to focus on, like, if you're doing, say, a 20 miler, if you're doing like a 32 kilometer long run, do the first 5 miles easy, or the first 8 kilometers easy, then run your second 8 kilometers at about 20 seconds slower than goal half marathon race pace, then run the next 8K easy, and then run the last 8K at around 5 to 10 seconds slower than goal half marathon race pace. So again, you're varying up the paces, you're going up and down in pace and effort, and that's just one example. There are other times where I would do long runs where right in the middle of a long run I drop like a 450 mile and then go back into relaxed effort and then run right around 520 mile pace, because at that time I was trying to run 2 hours and 22 minutes. So again, you want to get accustomed to whatever goal you're trying to run at for the half marathon, whatever goal pace you're trying to run at. You want to spend some time during that long run training close to or well below that goal half marathon race pace that you have in mind. And again, it's a combination. If you're going to run a personal best in the half marathon, you have to get very efficient at handling higher amounts of lactic acid buildup in your bloodstream. So it's a combination of how, when you're training at paces that are much, much faster than your half marathon goal race pace, when, like, say you're doing your VO2 max workouts on the track and you're running closer to your like 3K to 5K race pace, you're teaching the body to not only make that goal half marathon race pace feel easier, but you're also, the faster you train at well below half marathon race pace, you're also going to become very efficient at clearing lactic acid faster than it's building up during your race. And that's the key. You do not want to slow down. And that's what these long runs at a faster pace do. But I want you also to keep in mind, you do not want to run every single weekend at a harder, very paced long run effort. Okay? Recovery is just as important. And if you're not taking those easy days as seriously as you take your hard days, then you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You can't just continue to push the body anaerobically and expect a high return on your investment. You have to run very easy, relaxed, aerobic effort as well. Some of the best marathoners I've trained with, sub 2:10 marathoners that could run under sub 5-minute mile pace for 26.2 miles or 42.2 kilometers. They would go out on their easy days. Some of these guys, Gilbert Ruto is an example. Gilbert ran around 2:09 for the marathon. Dan Brown, two-time U.S. Olympian, ran 2:11:35. These guys would run very easy on their easy days. And this is what's very difficult for athletes. We're very focused and driven to do hard anaerobic workouts, but we also have a hard time slowing down. You know, if you did a workout on Monday and you go out with a group on a Tuesday and they didn't do that track workout you did or that road session that you did the day before, and they start taking off and running too fast, you have to have that discipline to slow down and chill out and know that, hey, I did this hard anaerobic workout. I'm trying to bounce back from that effort. So I'm going to take not only today easy and slow down and let those other athletes take off if they want to, but I'm also going to take the next day and I'm going to jog on that day as well. And then I'm going to attack that workout that I'm going to do on Wednesday, so I can, get that the anaerobic effort, and that physiological boost that you're trying to get, from your training. So it's very, very important to just keep these things in mind when you're training for the half marathon or the 5K or the 10K or the marathon distance. Don't run every single weekend easy and slow. Again, there is a place for that, but alternate it. Run a harder long run one weekend, followed by the next weekend by a very easy, relaxed long run. So you can get the highest return on your investment. You can bounce back from those hard anaerobic workouts you're doing. Also spend time training at paces that are much, much faster than you're planning to run on in your half marathon. Spend some time training around your 3K to 5K race pace on the track or on the roads as well. If that means doing repeat Ks on the road, fartlek workouts are great. Where if you're wearing a heart rate monitor, get that heart rate up close to 170 beats or higher during those harder efforts, and then back off to like 130 to 140 beats per minute during the easier recovery efforts. So again, you're speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. All this will come about, all this type of training will help you to set a new personal best for the half marathon distance. But you have to start changing up your strategy and how you're running your long runs. And there are a lot of different ways to set up your long runs as well. Some of the things I did, I would, I did a lot of 20 milers over the years too, at high altitudes and at sea level, where I would run like maybe the first 2 to 3 miles just jogging, and then just go straight into a 16 to 17 mile long run at 160 beats per minute. So, I did long runs, 20 milers at like 150 to like 1 hour and 57 minutes in that range at altitude by myself. Sometimes I had other athletes with me, but just maintain your composure, maintain your focus, and remember during those long runs to stay as relaxed as you can. Make sure you're hydrating well during, before, and after those long runs. The harder long runs that you do are going to take quite a bit out of you. There's no question about it. That was the most difficult workout that I did leading up to my 219 marathon. It took me sometimes 2 and even up to 3 days to recover from that hard effort. But then I would focus again on the track or on the roads, where I was training really fast, much faster than goal race pace. And then I would also jog. So it's again a combination of a lot of different efforts, and leading into your big race, doing that 10-day taper I talk about. So I hope this video was helpful for you, just to shed some more light on the idea of long runs and what you need to be thinking about. If there's anything else I can help you out with, feel free to leave me a comment below this video. Definitely, if you want one-on-one coaching with me and you want to get a little bit more in depth, check out the membership, the private community that we have now on RunDreamAchieve.com. I definitely want to work closer with clients from around the world and athletes, highly motivated, driven athletes such as yourself, that want a little bit more specifics and a little bit more guidance in terms of where they need to be going with their training. So I wish you all the best, and I will talk to you all in the next video.